And we're back. Hello, Twitch chat. I just made that I made that picture pose I just did. My freaking Facebook profile pic. We're still chilling hard. Just enjoying the early morning before I go to the library and write stories all day. Assuming that we, for some reason, don't get interrupted, we have like under 3 hours before I walk to go do that. Which honestly will probably annoy my mom to an extent, but whatever. Who cares? She already knows my plan is to go to the library anyway. I repeatedly told her I was going to go to the library in the morning. My phone's at... Is there a plug-in back here? There is not. Let me confirm. There is not. My phone's at 71%, so that's plenty of time to charge, especially when we event the fact I'm not leaving until 7 a.m. So it's like, who cares? We'll probably let the phone get as low as 40% before we take a long break from streaming. Because I'm just going to show you guys. That over there is the plugin I'm using, and my cord is not long enough, as you can see, for me to be able to do a good stream for that angle. Unless we want you to stare at my ass the whole time, and from a shitty angle. So, we're not really doing that. Or actually, there is that plugin over there. Which honestly, when I think, no, you'll be too close to the music for that. You won't be able to hear me. So no. We're going to do it from here. And I feel like doing something actually cool, though. Actually kind of cool. We're going to watch the news. We're going to try to, anyway. We're not going to watch anyone official, though, because they will probably copyright strike me if they get a chance. So, where's, Internet Today hasn't done it yet, actually, but they will do it at any minute when they decide to. So, let's just, just watch real news. Real news hasn't copyright strike me yet. We'll find out if it doesn't. Excuse me, it doesn't now, though.
Iran has a new supreme leader. It's Mojtaba Khamenei, a son of the slain supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, whose death on February 28th in an Israeli airstrike kicked off the Israeli-American war that has spread across the wider Middle East. Now, Mojtaba Khamenei...
We should just let you guys listen to it. It's less likely to get copyright strike, but it's just the news.
Comes into power as Iran's theocracy faces perhaps its greatest challenge yet. This ongoing war that has seen sites across Iran destroyed, as well as Iran's paramilitary Revolutionary Guard, the Air Force and Army targeted and just pounding airstrikes. Now, so far, we haven't heard from Mojtaba Khamenei himself. It's expected.
Let's see, did I get a notification?
Pre-recorded statement to people of Iran trying to describe what his plans are. But what we've seen from the Guard, which has long had ties to Khamenei, is just these pounding attacks that have spread across to hit oil infrastructure as well as water desalination plants. And that is the lifeblood of the Gulf Arab states, and we're starting to hear more criticism from them. Saudi Arabia this morning issued a very stinging statement warning that Iran would be the, quote, biggest loser if it continued these attacks. So Khamenei comes into power, likely already targeted by Israel, and possibly facing the greatest challenge that his country's theocracy has ever seen. It remains unclear just what he'll do, and it remains unclear just what.
Alright, so our new leader, based on what they said, is a military guy that is going to piss people off. With the fact that he attacks like fucking important infrastructure for other countries, which is very fucking annoying to everyone that cares about water. Or whatever the fuck the other thing he said was, I forgot it already. The water was just what stuck with me, because that's like way more important than whatever the fuck else he said. Look at that. Water desalination plants, by the way, is plants that take the salt out of seawater so they can drink it. That's why it's annoying. Alright, let's look at the 7 deaths we've had. We've reached 7. 7 American soldiers.
Iran, the attacks continue, with oil facilities a chief target. The air in some parts of the country almost unbreathable.
It's an absolutely apocalyptic scene here.
Leaders in Iran calling for unity just announced Mojtaba Khamenei will be the next supreme leader after the attacks that started the war killed his father. President Trump not ruling out a future phase of the war, including U.S. troops on the ground.
Could there be? Possibly for a very good reason. Have to be a very good reason. And I would say if we ever did that, they would be so decimated that they wouldn't be able to fight at the ground level.
Many surrounding Arab countries now at a complicated
I'm never going to get to
crossroads,
see
with
action.
attacks
Just
from
because my
Iran
mental health kills
threatening
me
them
alone.
on a daily basis. Saudi Arabia's defense
For mine,
ministry
I should take
releasing
some
this
of
video,
those.
it says shows them intercepting a number of drones launched toward the kingdom.
Our missiles cannot reach the U.S. soil. What we can do is to attack American bases and American installations around us, which are unfortunately in the soils of our neighborly countries.
The United Arab Emirates in a quote state of defense.
I at least need to take
after at
this
least
one.
1,500 missiles and drones have been sent to the country from Iran, and while most were intercepted, some were not. Iran's president at first issuing an apology and vowing to stop attacking its neighbors.
We do not intend to attack neighbouring countries. As I have repeatedly said, they are our brothers.
But by all indications, that has not happened, with some U.S. leaders urging them instead to get involved in the fight.
Are you telling us you want the United Arab Emirates and the Saudis to lash out and strike Iran right now?
I want them to get in the fight.
Oh my
We're
god.
selling weapons. Iran is striking their country. They have good capability.
The Arab League just wrapped up an emergency session.
Let's take a break and have some
in which
actual
top
water.
officials called Iranian attacks against its members, quote, reckless. They're urging Tehran to reverse course. Meanwhile, many Western experts are predicting some of those Arab nations may take the historic step of aligning with the United States and Israel. I'm
Got a
Christine
sleeping
Bazan.
pill just in case.
Safer streets, stronger communities. Vote for Jesse Jackson Jr. Find your voting place now.
Donald Trump is panicking as Iran is refusing to agree
Alright.
to any ceasefire with the United States. Donald Trump's
I need some more marshmallows, so because one of these pills requires a meal.
Donald Trump is trying to pretend
We've already eaten some. We're just gonna eat a fresh amount, so this has something to bind to.
he is right now. Donald Trump called up Mary Bruce of ABC, and she asked him if he's worried about the risks at home, if he's worried about the loss of life, if he's worried that Americans can now be targeted by terrorist attacks from Iran. Donald Trump told ABC, I'm not worried about anything at all. I'm not worried. On the economic fallout of the war with Iran and rising gas prices, Donald Trump said, I think it's fine. It's a little glitch. We had to take this detour. I knew exactly what was going to happen with the detour. Well, the American people didn't. This detour, you mean an unlawful war where American soldiers have already died, where the Middle East is now engulfed in war, and you have no exit strategy?
This is another guy's video. Oh, that's an interesting one.
say it happened during dueling protests outside Gracie Mansion on Saturday while Mayor Zoran Mamdani and his wife were home. The FBI says 2 men are now in custody after being arrested. Police recovered 2 devices after the protest, confirming one of them was a homemade bomb that could have caused serious injury or death.
The devices, which were a bit smaller than a football, appear to be a jar wrapped in black tape, importantly with nuts, bolts, and screws, along with a hobby fuse.
Police say the suspects were part of a counter-protest against anti-Islam demonstrators led by a conservative influencer.
Oh, here we go.
The son of Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has been chosen as his successor. Iranian state TV made the announcement early Monday as the war that killed the Ayatollah enters its 2nd week. His son has not been seen publicly for many days, but he will now stand at the heart of Iran's theocratic ruling party. This as the continuing attacks by U.S. and Israeli forces have left parts of Iran's capital in flames. Overnight strikes on 4 oil storage tankers and a petroleum transfer terminal killed at least 4 people in Tehran.
Here, I'll be back. You guys enjoyed random YouTube. I'm gonna take a quick shower. I'll be back.
Good evening, I'm Frankie Thompson. Another U.S. soldier has died as Operation Epic Fury enters its 2nd week in Iran. The Pentagon announced the service member died from wounds suffered in Iran's counterattack 1 week ago. Fox News reporter Max Gordon has the latest.
Heavy explosions.
I'm just gonna take a short shower. I'll be back.
As Israeli missile strikes hit 4 separate oil facilities. It's being described by some as the heaviest night of attacks yet, with much of the city still covered in thick plumes of black smoke. U.S. and Israeli nation-state strikes will continue as they're decimating Iran's regime.
We have achieved almost complete control over the skies of Tehran. With each passing day, we are stripping away more and more capabilities of the regime in Iran.
Meanwhile, Iran also ramping up their attacks, launching ballistic missiles into Israel and neighboring Gulf states. Bahrain, Kuwait, and the UAE all reporting Iranian strikes, along with successful missile interceptions. This as Iran's president says he won't back down from the U.S.-Israeli pressure.
Our Iran and our country will not bow easily in the face of bullying, in the face of oppression, in the face of aggression.
Here at home, President Trump continues to face questions over U.S. involvement in the war and how long it'll last. Saturday, he attended the dignified transfer of 6 American soldiers killed during Operation Epic Fury. Hours later, he had this to say about the war.
We're doing this greatly, not only for our country, not only for Israel, not only for the Middle East, but for the world.
And as the war intensifies, the death toll continues to rise. Iranian officials say they've already lost more than 1,000 people in the conflict. Max Gordon, Fox News.
At least 2 countries say they will cut oil production because of threats in the Strait of Hormuz. Kuwait announced it will cut refining output due to the threat to oil tankers safely navigating the Persian Gulf. The UAE is also cutting oil production for the same reason. The 2 countries produce oil around 6 million barrels of oil each day in January alone. We have already seen a jump in gas prices here in Washington. Right now, the average price statewide for a gallon of gas is topping $4.60. That's up 3 cents just this weekend and almost a 30-cent increase since a week ago. Gas topped $4 in the month of February with an average price of just $4.02 per gallon.
Spring, the unofficial new year for tool people. New jobs, new projects, with quality tools from Harbor Freight. We've got the savings to start your new year off right. So come celebrate spring at Harbor Freight.
Slice so good, hit like boom. Papa John's, fill the room. Fresh, never frozen, original dough made from 6 simple ingredients. Get 2 medium pizzas for $6.99 each. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's.
An Israeli minister just said that he wants Beirut to look like Gaza. Kurdish rebels backed by the CIA may be about to turn this into a ground war. Azerbaijan threatening retaliation after Iranian drones hit its territory. NATO says that it supports the U.S. campaign, and AOC is arguing that Trump may have started this entire war to distract from the Epstein files. Hi, welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show. The situation is spiraling. There's even more that we can talk about, but let's start here. Fighting in Lebanon picked back up this week after Hezbollah fired rockets at the northern Israel. Israel in response to the strikes on Iran. And Israel's response has killed at least 102 people so far, according to Lebanon's health ministry, though it may actually be about to get worse. Over the past few days, the Israeli military has issued sweeping evacuation warnings across southern Lebanon, sparking fears of a ground invasion. And then you saw they issued an evacuation order for the Daheo, which encompasses the southern suburbs of Beirut, where Hezbollah has long held influence and where anywhere from 300 to 700,000 people live. And so it's actually believed to be the first time in this conflict that they've ordered large portions of the capital to evacuate. Before this, they've been targeting specific buildings. And also there's a history here with what's known as the Daheo Doctrine, referring to the strategy of using overwhelming and disproportionate force against civilian infrastructure named after the 2006 Lebanon war, where large parts of the area were destroyed. And with all this, you have far-right Israeli finance minister Smotrich saying the quiet part out loud, saying the Daheo will look like Khan Yunis, which is a city in Gaza that was decimated during Israel's bombing campaign. And he added, "You wanted to give us hell, but you brought hell upon yourself." Meanwhile, you have strikes continuing across Iran, with the Israeli military saying that there's beginning a new widespread wave of attacks in Iran. U.S. Central Command also posting today the Iranian regime's ability to impact U.S. forces and regional partners is rapidly declining, while American combat power continues to build. Trump's also said that destroying Iran's navy is a key objective, and there you have the U.S. now claiming to have sunk more than 20 Iranian naval vessels, including a ship in the Indian Ocean that Hexat confirmed was taken out by an American torpedo. And actually, it's now been reported that that vessel was headed home after participating in naval exercises hosted by India and may have actually not been carrying ammunition. So you had Iran's foreign minister calling it an atrocity at sea and warning, "Mark my words, the U.S. will come to bitterly regret the precedent it has set." Iran's top security official also blaming the U.S. and Israel for the strike on a girls' elementary school that killed 175, writing, "Mr. Trump, is this the anthem you composed for freedom in Iran?" You also had a spokesperson accusing the U.S. and Israel of hitting 20 educational centers, 25 medical facilities, and 6 emergency centers. While the Iranian government, they're not always the most reliable source, you had the World Health Organization independently verifying more than a dozen attacks on health infrastructure in Iran, reporting 4 healthcare workers killed and 25 injured. And then, as far as the other side, while you have Iran claiming that its strikes are self-defense, it's also targeted embassies, energy installations, airports, and hotels across the region. But today, 2 Iranian drones fell into Azerbaijan, one hitting an airport and one landing near a school, reportedly injuring 2
Is this today's episode?
saying it was preparing necessary retaliatory measures.
No, 3 days ago. We're not going to keep watching it. Might as well do Bloomberg television for a bit.
Rebound and recover with the Planet Fitness Strike Core.
Join and get your first month free. Deal ends March 13th.
Gabrielle turned her passion into a thriving business with Hostinger. Now it's your turn to take your idea online. Create and launch your website in minutes with Hostinger AI and get everything you need to grow all in one place. From domains and hosting to emails and 24/7 support.
Hostinger's customer service is the best in the industry, and I can say that because I worked with everyone in the industry.
Build the website, publish the portfolio, launch the store. Just go for it. Go to Hostinger to turn one day into day one.
Shit. Don't want to show troops.
Live from London, this is Bloomberg Daybreak Europe. I'm Bonnie Quinn with your top stories. Global stocks plummet as crude oil jumps more than 15% to more than $110 a barrel. We bring you full analysis of the moves. Iran names Ayatollah Khamenei's son, Mujtaba, as its new supreme leader, signaling a continuation of the regime's hardline approach. Plus, a setback for the German chancellor as he suffers a stinging defeat to the Green Party in a crucial state election. Let's take a look at these markets then, because a couple of hours ago oil was even higher, up almost 25%. Got very serious this
I'm
weekend.
already bored.
We right now have Brent trading at
I hate when they talk about oil prices and stuff. Like, I barely care about the stock market, guys. What are we talking about over here?
Inflation scenario, and he has
Inflation fears hit U.S. stock.
5% this year for U.S. stocks. He's raised his chances for a U.S. recession this year to 35%, 20%.
Damn. Sucks to suck there, gamers.
Communicating with their allies abroad. The oil is there. You're seeing a little bit of fear premium in the marketplace, but the world is not short of oil today for natural gas.
He's not wrong to an extent. Other countries might be short, but we aren't. We have an absurd stockpile. If you look into it, I think last I checked, this was like during the Biden era, we had like millions of pounds of fucking oil for just that the U.S. government owns.
Well, I mean, I think you can see just the way that prices reacted over the last 4
So America's fine when it comes to oil, no matter what, bros. Just trust on that.
surge
This is why we don't care. It's because we have an absurd stockpile of oil. That is like so absurd. The world would probably be upset at us if they like oil.
Later today, early U.S. morning, to discuss a potential joint release of the strategic oil reserves. That prices kind of tapered a bit, but still above $100 a barrel, which is huge, considering where we were just last week, around $70 for Brent. But I think that's what the market has been waiting for. They have been, when you hear the U.S. Energy Secretary talking about there's enough oil, it's not so much that, so there are some countries that aren't getting the deliveries that they need, especially in South and Southeast Asia. But in terms of oil in reserve and in strategic reserve, that's correct. There is a lot of oil available. It's just whether or not those strategic reserves would be tapped. And we heard last week Japanese refiners were pushing their government to try to go forward with tapping some of their reserves. But this sort of action by governments works best in courts, which is why it makes sense that the FT is reporting that they're going to be discussing this. The U.S., according to the FT, is for that plan, along with 2 other G7 members, and we'll find out more later as that comes closer. But I think there is worry in the market that there is no end in sight for what's happening in the Middle East, the war in Iran, and as long as there's no end in sight, the idea that the Strait of Hormuz, which is a vital waterway for 20% of seaborne oil and fuel products, that's going to remain shut, and that's going to cause a strain on the markets, prices, and consumers.
All right, Stephen, we have to leave there. Stephen Stachynski, the heads of energy coverage for Asia. Stocks in Asia having their worst day since April, with the benchmark index
I need some nutrients now to balance out that sugar. My body's just screaming for real nutrients. It is like crying out, stop eating so much sugar. Please have something that's actually nutritious. Which, thank God for Pure Kick Energy. That's all the nutrition we need besides fucking protein. Feeling better already, gamers. Yeah, that's all we need to balance out that American diet. Just need some Pure Kick Energy and some real food without sugar at some point, which I'll beg my mom before leaving this morning to bring some real food over because all I have is sugary foods. Which hopefully she has money for that. If not, I don't know what to say or do. I'm sorry, Korea. I don't care about your stock market either. Fuck. Quit trying to make me care. Okay, here we go. Here's like a segment on Kamani's son.
Yeah, well, he is essentially a continuity candidate and quite literally cut from the same cloth as his father, his predecessor, Ali Khamenei, because he is very much supported by the hardline clerics within the regime, very much supported by the Revolutionary Guard Corps, and actually the IRGC put out a statement pledging full obedience to their new leader. And his rise has been supported by the IRGC. There's little doubt that his influence their influence would continue to grow under his leadership as well. And the other thing to note about Mujtaba is he has very strong clerical background, a very strong foundation in theocracy, but less so in matters to do with security and foreign affairs. And so the initial reaction is perhaps this would also serve to elevate some of the other names that we've been talking about in the last week who've been making some of those critical decisions, like Ali Larijani and the Speaker of the Parliament. And remember, these 2 figures were the ones who came out on Saturday afternoon contradicting the statement that the president put out, suggesting...
Give me a sec, guys. I want to search my bag real quick.
It does tell you that still...
I want to do an account of what I have.
...very much have a grip over the situation. The power command structure is still...
Oh, the brush is at the bottom of this section.
At the same time, President Trump has said that the choice of Mujtaba Khamenei would be unacceptable.
I swear I felt it. There it is.
Over the weekend, in a True Social post, that he wants nothing short of
Alright.
complete surrender. And so the war itself doesn't see any signs whatsoever of things intensifying escalating.
No, so Shimona, bring us up to speed with what's been happening over the last 2 days. What's the latest in the conflict at this point?
Suzlon has been a leading wind energy player for the last 3 decades. We are now pivoting to be a full-stack renewable energy solutions company to provide integrated solutions to all our customers. EV adoption as well as AI is driving the energy demand for the world. It's very important that we choose the right energy mix for our journey from here on, so that we not only achieve our power demand, but we do it in a very responsible way.
Equity indices built on opinions? That's the old way. The new way is Bloomberg Equity Indices, built using transparent, rules-based methodologies that are more responsive to changes in the markets, powered by 450 billion daily data points, and backed by research from hundreds of global experts, delivering benchmarks driven by the markets, not opinions. Bloomberg Equity Indices. Get evolved benchmarks.
Yeah, well, operations are continuing both ways. The IDF striking 400 targets in the course of the last 24 hours. They also hit a fuel depot in Tehran as well. Reports emerging overnight that the U.S. were not so happy with that because they're not so comfortable with civilian infrastructure being hit. Even Senator Lindsey Graham saying that perhaps that's one step too far, and that you don't want to completely dismantle full infrastructure and not give the Iranian people a chance to rebuild after the war. So this is notable because it's perhaps the first sign of the friction that we've seen between these joint U.S. and Israeli operations. And in return, despite President Pezeshkian's comments early Saturday morning, Iran continues to retaliate against Israel, against the Gulf states, and perhaps in diminished missile capacity, but they continue to fire these drones. The lion's share of them are intercepted, but as you've probably seen in the reports over the weekend, the debris is still causing significant damage. There's a building nearby that was damaged by debris, and they continue to target these key infrastructure sites as well. Energy infrastructure continues to be a line of focus. Overnight as well, another attempted strike on the Bahrain refinery, and then also another escalation in terms of the new front.
There we go.
Iran also targeted the desalination plant for Bahrain too. Now, even though it caused limited damage and the supplies are still running, it does tell you that their targets are still very much at strategic parts of these Gulf states, and they're continuing to try to inflict as much economic and political damage as they can across the region.
Yeah, I'm feeling a bit chilly again.
Shimona, Versace, thank you. And just on that, I want to break some news. Bahrain's Bapco Energies has declared a force majeure now on operations. Once again, Bahrain's Bapco Energies has now declared a force majeure on operations. Bapco says the local markets are fully secured, so the needs for the local markets are fully secured. But in general, Bapco Energies declaring a force majeure on operations, basically shuttering at this point. Market veteran Ed Yardeni has raised
Let's rock the hoodie this time.
in the U.S. Actually has lowered the possibility of a market melt up to 5%.
Oh my god, why are they always talking about the meltdown? I mean, the market. I don't care about the U.S. market meltdown, blah, 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 blah. Okay, I'm not going to care about British politics. We are American. We are American. Okay, oh yeah, well here's the top stories. We might stop after top stories.
Two suspects are in custody following the incident on Saturday, which triggered a bomb squad response.
A bomb near New York City Mayor Mandani's
An
house.
explosion outside the U.S. Embassy in Oslo is linked to the war in the Middle East. The blast in the early hours of Sunday caused minor damage with no casualties reported. Authorities say it's far too early to link the incident to the Iran war and are also considering other theories. War in the Middle East is fueling soaring prices for agricultural crops as energy and fertilizer costs increase. Palm oil has surged as much as 10%, with soybean oil jumping and wheat nearing a 2-year peak. Disruptions to crude oil supplies are also boosting
there's a front page news section. What's the front page news?
Policies from Tehran as
Oh, we just went over that again. Okay, what is his opinion?
should it wish to even try to de-escalate, which it doesn't seem to want to do right now.
Well, the nomination of the succession to the supreme leader yesterday, with Khamenei's son being appointed, definitely shows that Tehran is not ready yet to roll over. And I think that limits US options for the immediate term. That said, I think there are always possibilities for the Trump administration to declare that Iran has effectively surrendered. One option would have been, if there had been a slightly more pragmatic move. We saw on Saturday that the president suggested that he was apologizing to neighboring countries. Trump seized on that, in fact, immediately as a sign of surrender. And the pushback in Tehran was massive. So that route is looking closed off. The other option is to declare, as Hex, the defense secretary, has sort of implied, that surrender can be equated to Iran not having the military capacity to attack anymore. And I think that's the more likely route for the US administration at the moment, to say they've effectively surrendered because they can no longer fight back effectively. The problem there is, how do you do that if you can't reopen the Strait of Hormuz and give oil producers and gas producers the confidence they won't be hit by drones and can restart operations? Because although Iran's high-tech capabilities are suffering a huge pounding, stopping drones, small boats and low-tech options is much harder and can take longer. So the exit strategy is looking very complicated for the United States.
Also, Laura, it would seem to me that if US oil declares that there has been a surrender, that's just going to inflame Iranian reaction, right? And the US would not be able to control that at that point.
No, and I think they'd have to wait a little bit longer until they thought that they'd hidden a lot of the senior people, possibly killed the new supreme leader as well. It's worth bearing in mind that intelligence penetration of Iran's structures is still quite heavy, and Israeli and US combined intelligence is very good. So they'd have to kill more leaders, attack the lines of succession, attack mid-level commanders, and wipe out more military capacity. But this is, as I've said, a very risky strategy. It seems to be a direction they're thinking in, because interestingly, when Trump said he didn't mind high oil prices, he also said it would be a very short spike. And I don't see how that scenario is going to unfold at the moment.
When you're the swim, soccer, dance mom, Meyer Pickup has you covered. One stop without the shop, that's the good life. We do more to make life a good deal better with Meyer Pickup.
I think taxes are something that makes all of us panic, whether or not you want to admit it. Being able to pass my taxes to a TurboTax expert means that I have to only collect documents, I give it away, and then they will let me know when it's ready to go. That is 1 minute I'm thinking about it, and that allows me to do everything else.
My lock is so jank. At least wants to work to an extent, but it's still very annoying.
Well, and each day as production capacity is shut in, the less likely it becomes, right? Because you can't just...
So it's not quite the rat race as I feared, but the lock doesn't want to unlock either.
capacity that Iran has to fight back.
Very annoying.
Does it have unlimited asymmetric capacity?
Not unlimited, but if you like, there's a very long tail. It's worth bearing in mind that Iran has spent the last several decades sponsoring asymmetric capacity across the region. Now, those asymmetric actors are not all in a position to help Iran at the moment, although the Iraqi militias are doing so quite effectively to some extent. But Iran knows how small militias, small cells, groups can be tasked with drones, with other low-tech options that they can actually produce or use quickly that aren't too expensive. It knows how to fight that kind of war because it has been sponsoring it across the region. And so if Iran itself moves in that direction, then they have capacity and quite a lot of equipment to enable them to do so.
When President Trump talks about seizing Iran's uranium, deploying special forces, what do you think? I mean, they say that...
That honestly sounds like a reasonable war tactic to me, not gonna lie, guys. I'd do it. that does make it very risky. Just based on the concept of an underground facility, that's very risky, especially with a nuke in there. They could just decide to sacrifice themselves and just fucking wreck that whole place.
Various other things. And it's not clear, how safely you can extract this uranium in war conditions. So this would have to be, I think, a scenario where we're sometime down the line, and any military capacity of Iran has been sapped, and even then, this could be a last-ditch place for security forces to hold out and defend. So, pounding those sites, yes, putting boots on the ground safely and getting them out safely with the uranium is a massive operation. The other place they're talking about boots on the ground is Khark Island to stop Iran loading oil. Where it's notable that operations have been very little disrupted, but we're seeing so many signs of escalation that oil infrastructure, that desalination infrastructure in Iran might be hit, that there might be retaliation in the Gulf, in those two very sensitive areas. Things could get a lot worse, and boots on the ground aren't going to fix this.
Saudi Arabia has been ramping up what it's pushing through its oil pipeline to the Red Sea, but I'm curious, Laura, are the Houthis going to be active again? Can Saudi Arabia guarantee safe passage of oil through the Red Sea, even if it is, twice what it's been sending, and still much, much less than would go through the Strait of Hormuz?
The Houthis say that their finger is on the trigger. That's the latest official comment from them. That they're ready to intervene, but they haven't declared yet that they will. And I think they have strong reasons to stay out. The Houthis, while allied with Iran, have always been the most independent of their allies in the region. They seek their own domestic interests first. They've already suffered heavy hits from the United States and Israel, and know that further ones could undermine their viability. They also know that they need to keep Saudi Arabia on side if they want any prospect of improving their economic position, particularly since Saudi Arabia has since December, strongly entrenched its position in southern Yemen and unified forces.
Yeah. What is this?
Timing right now.
We already know this one. She talked about. We know enough from that.
Absolutely. I think
Wait, hold on. There's a map. I want to see the map at least.
whether that is special operations forces to try and seize some of the highly enriched uranium, or whether it be another smaller group, whether for a Khark Island scenario, or even forces on the ground.
Yeah, it sounds rough. Do it. Okay, someone fails an election test. It's some MERS dude. We don't care about Germany. And another fucking thing about oil prices. Which, all in all, it sounds shitty what's going on. To an extent. I don't know, for the fuckboy Machiavelli in me, it sounds like a great time to get drafted if I wasn't on fucking mental health pills. But otherwise, it feels like we're kind of screwed. And we're not screwed. We're just screwed out of war's going to happen. Otherwise, we're fine. Anyway, I'm going to end the stream on that note, and then we're going to start up another one, because I just feel like it. Alright, so peace and love, YouTube, Twitch. Hopefully we get to upload this one.